Live from the grave. It's your boy Austin, here with my buddy John. John, how the fuck are you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing awesome. How are you?
Great. I'm excited. This is our first episode on our podcast, From the Grave Media. And I see it fitting that we talk about when I was your wingman that one time and I got locked inside of a cemetery.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
So, we live in Dahlonega, Georgia. And we have this cemetery. It might be famous to you. It might not be. It's called Mount Hope Cemetery. It has 2 Revolutionary War soldiers. One of them died at 100. One of them died at 106. I have pictures of the cemetery on our Instagram. If you want to see those, you can check those out. But basically how the story goes is John here met a gal on Tinder and wanted to take her out on a date. Well, he takes her to this little dive bar called Johnny B's.
Great place, by the way.
Fantastic fucking wings. So, it's right across the street from the cemetery. So, I'm there to bail him out if things go bad. And, typical wingman shit. So, we show up, go to the bar, have a few drinks. I guess he's into this girl because we're there for 3 fucking hours and I get bored.
Oh, yeah.
So, I wander across the street to this cemetery. And, a lot of Confederate soldier monuments and things like that, and I'm just chilling. And next thing I know, it's pretty fucking dark, and I'm over it. I'm bored. I've lost my buzz. I'm ready to leave.
I was having a great fucking time though.
Well, he wouldn't know where the fuck I was because he wouldn't answer his phone. But I go to hit the exit of the cemetery, and the fucking gate's locked, and I gotta jump to shit. So. That's our little cemetery story. But John here, John is a Marine. Once he got out of the Marines, he went to be an over-the-road truck driver. John, what do you think about ghosts? Do you have any good ghost stories?
I have one good ghost story, and it was back in my Marine Corps days.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so back in 2015, I went to boot camp. And then I had 10 days of leave. Well, you go to a place called MCT after. And that's in North Carolina. So I'm there. And we're going through the training. We get to this one training area. And there's a road. It's a long gravel road with trees on each side. Okay. And so one of the instructors was like, hey, if you're out here at night, usually late at night around midnight, there's a little girl in a white dress, and she'll scream. And we were all like, no, you're just full of shit. Like, you're just fucking with us. And later on that day, I had watch. So I'm sitting in the little shack, bored as fuck, about to fall asleep. And next thing I know, I hear this loud fucking scream. I mean, blood-curdling scream. Like the scariest thing I've ever fucking heard, right?
Oh, damn.
And so, I'm sitting there, hear this scream, and I see this figure way in the distance. And it's getting closer, like real freaking slow, like. And next thing I know, it's this little girl in a white dress.
I bet you were freaked the fuck out at that point.
I was like, there's no fucking way.
Oh, shit.
Like, this can't be real. Like, maybe someone's fucking with us,
Yeah.
And then you heard the loud scream. And it only lasted a couple seconds, and then it was gone. So I got on the radio to one of the instructors, and they were like, oh, it happens all the time. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, I don't know about you, but I'm about to get the fuck out of here because that's some creepy ass shit. And I'm the only one out here at like midnight.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to be out here and get fucked around with some fucking ghost.
The ghost is gonna fuck you around. I don't know if I've ever had that experience where I ever thought I was gonna get fucked around by a ghost, but I understand. Well, is that the only ghost encounter you've ever had?
The most serious one. But I understand you might have some ghost stories of your own, so...
I do, but We'll get to those.
Okay, so my second one that I've encountered was in a house I used to live in when I was younger in Cornelia, Georgia. It's a house that's a little over 100 years old at the time, and it used to be used as a old field hospital. Okay, and anytime you went through that house at night, you always heard weird sounds. Like normally you'll hear, the house settling or something like that because it's old or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But no, like you'd hear actual like stomping and footsteps or something, just stuff that just didn't make any sense. So one night, I went out into the hallway thinking I'm hearing something. I'm like, okay, I need to figure out what the fuck this sound is, because it's been bothering me for days. So I go out there, and of course I'm a child, and I'm scared shitless, right? Like, you're like, okay, it's dark as fuck, but I gotta figure out what the fuck this sound is.
Curiosity
Yes.
just got the best of
Yes,
it, man.
curiosity. I mean, come on. So I go out there, and I see this figure, and it wasn't it gave you this feeling of unsettling.
Was this, did the figure look like a person, or was it a creature, or just a shadow? Like, what did this figure look like?
It looked more like a shadow, because there is a hall light in that house, and it's not the brightest, but it was a shadow on the wall, and it wasn't my shadow.
And it also wasn't something that you just like caught at the corner of your eye.
No, I looked directly at it.
Oh, okay.
And it was way too tall to be mine. It had longer hair than what I had. It had really like long curly hair.
So this was just like a shadow that was not fucking yours, and your mom's asleep. Because it sounds a lot like your mom.
No. This was like late as fuck.
Mama's done had a few. She's knocked the fuck out.
No. So, yeah, that's what I kind of thought at first. I was like, oh, maybe it's my mom. Oh, wait. Their room's downstairs.
Why the fuck? Yeah. Well.
And it's against a wall that there's no door.
Maybe your mom liked to shit upstairs. Maybe your dad didn't want to smell that shit.
Well, maybe. But anyways, so, of course, I saw that, freaked me out, ran back into the room, of course, closed the fucking door, locked that bitch, and then, like, hid under the blankets. Well, next morning, I got in trouble for locking the door, because, couldn't get back in. My parents couldn't get in my room. So, but the next night...
Oh, here's little 8-year-old Johnny jacking off.
Right?
Lock his goddamn door.
Right? Like, where's that fucking sock hit at, bitch? No. So, a few nights later, I wake up in the middle of the night, I hear something else. And I slept on a bunk bed on the top bunk.
Yeah.
So I leaned over, and of course, scared because, like, it could have been, like, just... Yep. I hate jump scares.
Mm-hmm.
I hate jump scares with a passion. They freak me the fuck out. And so I'm looking over the railing, waiting for something to like just fucking pop out in front of me, because I already saw something before, and you see all the movies and you're like, okay, and you're a kid, so you're like, okay, this shit's about to get me.
Here comes fucking Pennywise right out from up under my fucking bed.
Yeah, like, oh, here's Freddy. So
Am I dreaming?
Yes, yeah, I thought I might have. So I looked over, and there's this woman, clear as day, and she's wearing this old nurse's uniform, like from way back then. And I already know kind of a little bit of the history of the house. So I'm thinking to myself, this is really fucking creepy.
So a mixture between like horror films, the history of the house, and then you're like, this is a fucking ghost.
Yeah. And I already know there's been so many people that have died in that house. I mean, a shit ton of people have died in that house. And so I'm looking down, and there's this woman, and she has these really, like, beautiful blue eyes, but they're almost piercing straight into my freaking soul, you know, like, it's creepy. It's like, you lock eyes and you can't even freaking,
You're terrified.
yeah, you just freeze, you know?
Yeah.
You're just terrified. And so, I eventually, like, came to, and I just freaking, like, put my head back under my covers, and just held them down as tight as I could, and I was so scared that she was gonna, you know, come up and just somehow grab me or something.
For like you were at this age, were you scared of like death? Were you scared of this creature killing you, or were you just terrified at something being in your room?
I wasn't so much scared of the death or being killed or anything. It was more of something being right there that can physically possibly touch me and harm me. But I wasn't worried about something killing me. It was more like being physically touched by some sort of entity.
I don't know. I feel like I'd be just fucking scared that the thing was there to begin with.
Oh yeah, I was. I mean, come on. It's not every day that you just so happen to see, you know, some sort of ghost, you know? And she was like clear as day. It was probably the scariest fucking experience I've ever had, was that one night.
Damn, that's rough. So, I have a bunk bed story also that kind of like trickles in. So the way my life is now, the first full apparition that I ever seen. So me and my brother, we shared a room, and I slept on the top bunk. It was one night, and I was 13 years old. I get off the top bunk, go into the bathroom to pee. The bathroom's not in the room. You got to kind of go out in the hallway, and it's out in the hallway. Well, I go do my thing. I come back in the room, and I was one of those weird kids. I didn't ever use the ladder. I crawled up on the end of the bed. So I go to crawl up on the end of the bed, but as I get to the top, and my head's peeking over, and my pillow's right there at my face, but somebody's laying right there. And it looks like the figure of my grandmother. It has her long, coarse hair.
Now, is your grandmother at the time still living or passed away?
That's the thing. She's alive.
She's still alive.
My grandmother's not even dead. So, like, a ghost wasn't even my first thought. I was like, what the fuck is my grandmother doing here? Like, how the fuck did you get in here so fast that I went to go piss, and now, like, I don't know, like, that, the fact of that was kind of just, like, it mind-boggled me. And, now that I know what I know about demons and creatures and things, there is an explanation for it, which I'll get into. But, so, I kind of just, like, whimpered. I was like, Nana? And the fucking thing, because I realized it wasn't my Nana, looked up at me, and it just had these dark fucking eyes that you could just look straight through, and I don't know how to fucking explain it other than just straight up terror. But looked up at me, and I froze and petrified, just let go of the bed, fell down flat on my back, hit the ground, came to my senses, got up, flipped the light on, crawled, not really crawled back up, kind of like peered around the bed, and I was like, there's nothing there. What the fuck was that? And then, at that age, I was like, I just watched too many scary movies. I don't know what the fuck's going on. So, right. But that led into a couple of other different things that happened in my life. And I hadn't really thought of that as being that significant, just me being, a scared little child or whatever at that point in time. So, fast forward a couple of years, we're still living in the same house. And, I had this dream that I'm in. You know what a dojo is?
Yeah.
Like a dojo?
Yeah. It's like where you do, like, all your little
but like
jiu-jitsu.
An actual, like, dojo. Like, wooden floors, paper walls, like, the whole fucking 9 yards. And, like there's this man, there's this Asian man and this Asian woman. They're sitting in the corner of this dojo and they're crying, and it looks like they're holding the figure of a child. And I'm in the dream and I'm like, what's going on? Or I don't mean, obviously I don't say that, but I look at them and I say, what's wrong? And the lady, the mother, just kind of looks up at me, and she doesn't say anything. I can't audibly hear anything, but I can read her lips, and she just says, cry. And at that point in time, it's like a movie screen. My eyes, everything in front of me just turned black, like a projector screen. And CRY was written in flames, like it just flamed up. Like somebody had poured gasoline to write cry in cursive and then just lit a match.
And all this is when you're dreaming?
Yeah, this is a dream. So that happens, and then after I see it, I wake up in like a state of panic. My heart's beating, I'm sweating, I'm sobbing, I have tears, and I feel like there's a magnetic field like holding me to my bed. And it's just like the way I remember it now. It's like I'm watching a movie. It doesn't even seem real, even though it really happened.
It's like almost like an out of body experience.
Exactly. And after that, I did have a couple of. That's when I started. Do you know what sleep paralysis is?
Yeah.
Whenever you wake up, but your body's still asleep, but your mind's awake, and that you're fucking paranoid. Well, I never experienced that until after this dream. Now, whether it was a psychological reason because of that dream, it just triggered something in my brain, or whether there was really a demon that was fucking with me, I mean, that started happening. But what makes the story even weirder is fast forward a couple more years. I'm in high school. I got a girlfriend. Got a good group of buddies. And we're supposed to go out and eat this one night. Supposed to go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, hell yeah.
Favorite fucking place, man. Yeah. It's where I went on my 21st birthday, too.
Oh.
Yeah. My buddies, they all got me fucked up there. But, back story. I got mad. I don't remember if I got mad at my girlfriend. I'm pretty sure I got mad at my girlfriend, but I don't know if I got mad at her or my buddies. But I was like, no, fuck no, I'm not going. And then, they talked me into it, and I wound up going. And I left my brother at home by himself. My parents were out doing whatever the fuck they wanted to do. I don't know. It's not significant to what's about to happen. So, I go out to eat. My brother's at home by himself. I'm 16, 17. My brother's 12, 13 at the time. And we go out to eat. When we get done eating, we go back to my girlfriend's house. And my girlfriend only lives a couple blocks away from where my house is. And so we're sitting at my girlfriend's house, and my mom calls me, and she's just screaming and crying in hysteria, and I have no idea what the fuck she is saying. And I was just like, I hung up on her because she was kind of freaking me the fuck out, and I just looked at my girlfriend, and I was like, we gotta go to my house. I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And I'll never forget it, because one of my buddies that was there, he was like, do we all gotta go? And I was like, I don't give a fuck what you do, but I'm going to my house because my mom just called me freaking the fuck out. And my girlfriend was like, oh, let's go. And then, of course, everybody else followed us. And then, we make that first right-hand turn on my girlfriend's driveway, and you can just smell something is on fire.
Yeah, that strong odor of...
Yeah, like, I don't know if you ever smelled a house fire, but it's, like, not like a campfire or anything else. When a structure is on fire, it has this distinctive, almost like clothy... Chemical smell, yeah. And, so we smelt that, and then instantly, I don't want to say like a premonition, because it was senses that told me about it. I was like, my fucking house is on fire. And sure enough, we show up, and my house is on fire. And so the coincidence that my house is on fire, I had that dream, and I seen that thing in my bed is really fucked up. And now, after looking into the occult and studying demonology, there is a name for that creature that took on the form of my grandmother.
What's that?
It's a doppelganger.
Doppelganger.
So
okay.
it's, whenever someone's dead, and they come back in their form, their true form or their latest form when they died, that is a ghost. But there's these like demon-like creatures out there that'll take on a form of someone that you know, love, whatever, to invite you in. When you see someone you like me, I was like, my Nana is in my bed, and.
But what are they trying to invite you in for?
Who knows, man? I mean, I don't know. I didn't make it that far. I freaked the fuck out and fucking fell and cut the light on. I don't know. I don't know if anybody to live to tell a story can tell you what they do.
I wonder if it's like they tried to draw you in to be able to take over your body.
Yeah, that could be a way to lead into possessions. I mean, who really knows? I don't know. I mean, maybe I haven't studied that much into it. Maybe there's someone else out there that does know more about it. But I'm like 1,010% positive that is what I seen that day. I feel like in your situation, what you seen was a ghost, and then with me, for sure, a doppelganger.
Understandable, yeah. That's some scary shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's kind of affected your life in a way.
Yeah, it's definitely made me. It's made me want to do what I'm doing now. It's what made me start From the Grave Media. It's interested.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's interested me in the paranormal
because it's not something that a lot of people know. We don't know what happens after death.
Exactly, and that is the greatest question and the greatest conversation topic is what's next.
Exactly.
Is it 2 foot wide and 6 foot deep, or is there the pearly gates? Is there the burning pit of abyss? Is there
reincarnation coming back as a different form?
Is this, or are we just in a fucking time lapse? Is this shit just going on and on and on and on? We don't know. That's a fascinating thing, and I don't knock anybody who's religious, but I think that's the number one thing about religion is it's just to not be scared of death. And I'm not saying you should be excited after death, because who the fuck knows? I mean, once that shit turns black, it's like a light switch. There might not be anything else.
And I think that's my biggest fear about death. Even though I don't fear death by any means, but that's my biggest, I guess you would say, worry about death is you die and it's just blackness for all of eternity. Like you're just like there has to be something else. I mean, past death. I mean, it's almost mind-boggling to think. Okay, when you die, do you even know you're dead?
And
you know what I'm saying?
I think that's what anxiety is. I think that's the biggest. I mean, that is the biggest thing is the unknown. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, like when you die, is that it? Like you're gone. You don't even know you're going. You no longer exist. Like your mind is gone.
But that's one of the reasons that I'm drawn to this topic and this program that I'm trying to start is people in this world, not even the United States, but most people in this world don't even have end of life plans. So like people don't even think twice about what happens when they die. They don't have a plan set forth. They don't have a family member who's responsible for what happens to their body, their ceremony, their burial. Nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody wants to be like, oh, it's not going to happen to me. But I'm sorry to say it, friends. That is the one thing in this life that is guaranteed besides taxes is fucking death.
Absolutely.
So
it's the easiest thing in life. Everything else is hard.
Living is harder than dying.
Living is harder.
Anybody can lay down and fucking die. You know what I'm saying? But it's a good thing to go ahead and talk about with your families. Go ahead and start the conversation. Get your end of life plans ready. Get your finances in order. I mean, you got so many people out here that leave their families in so much debt because they're ignorant. They're like, oh, I'm not gonna die. But yet, when you die, your wife, your kids are taking on all that fucking debt, and you don't have that plan. Make it normalize talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Get your shit in order. Get a life insurance policy. Most people are like, I can't afford a life insurance policy. Well, you can't afford to die. You pay taxes every year. You're gonna fucking die. You better be willing to pay for that shit. So, and just make it easier on your family members whenever that shit does happen. And get your shit in order. Pick one person. You know, my brother is my beneficiary. My wife, she knows exactly what I want done. But I've just went into it in more depth. It's not like a money thing. Why? Like my wife and my kids, they get so much money. My brother only gets enough money to handle my funeral expenses. And I want a wooden coffin. Not a casket. A coffin. Old Western style. And I just want to be thrown in the fucking ground. No tomb, no nothing. Just throw me down in there. Let me rot. Cheap as fuck. Throw a fucking rock on top of that so everyone knows I'm there. And that's just simple as that. What about you? What do you want?
I think I've told you once before. I want to be cremated.
Yep.
And then snort it off a hooker's ass.
Ah. But, oh yeah, I did. I told you I would do that. I would be the one snorting that shit.
No, really, I do want to be cremated for this one simple fact that people make mistakes, and I don't want to be, you know how like way back then, back in the old days where they used to have bells.
Oh
in
yeah,
the coffins,
the safety bells. You know, there's only one recorded story. So like, I'll get off on this tangent whenever you're done with your story because there's a whole thing I can talk about with this. So just go ahead and tell your story.
Yeah, so that's my biggest thing about being cremated. I mean, it's a definite. I mean, unless you wake up as you're getting fucking cremated, that would fucking suck. But, but you know what I'm saying? Like, what if they mess up?
Well, there's still stories to this day of people being in hospital morgues and just miraculously coming to life.
Yeah, and then like next thing you know, you're buried, and then you're in a casket underground, and then basically you're just gonna die a slow death.
I think you're a little bit behind times now. Now they take out like all of your fucking organs before you even get to there. But,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It is what it is. I get it. I mean,
but you know what I'm saying? Like back then, that'd be like a real fucking.
Some people don't want to be put in a casket like a doll. I think it would be pretty cool to be pranced around like a puppet, but you know, I'm a little weird. So, well, if you haven't shit yourself yet and you're still with us, we would like to talk about what we have coming up next. John?
Our next episode will be on an unsolved murder that is local to us in Gainesville, Georgia. A 16-year-old girl whose name is Hannah Truelove met her demise far too young.
We will be visiting her gravesite and uploading pictures to our Instagram. Our Instagram is full of beautiful cemetery photography. If you have not already, go check it out. The handle is From the Grave Media. Thank you guys for listening, and if you enjoyed the first episode, be sure to find us on all social media platforms at From the Grave Media.